This is the OPS pregame report.
We've got one of the best games in the state of Indiana. Tonight, it's the number 7 team in the class of 4A, the Homestead Spartans, hosting the number 2 overall team in the class of 3A, the Norwell Knights. Good evening and welcome into the booth. I'm Anthony Gery, joined alongside Noah Johanningsmeier and sideline reporter Noah Lancz. And Noah, there have already been some great games in the area to start the season, but tonight is bound to be a good one as 2 top 10 teams will clash, and also 2 former NHC rivals.
Absolutely, Anthony. We have seen a lot of great matchups so far in the area throughout this season, and tonight might be the best matchup of the bunch so far, as this is a top-tier matchup between 2 of the best teams in the state of Indiana.
And what makes this game so special is that it is the first game between 2 former rivals since 2018.
Yeah, this is just going to be fun to watch. Just looking at that series history, Homestead leading 10-9 since 2000. It's a really tightly contested rivalry, but Homestead currently on that 6-game win streak. They've been dominating as of late.
And that's what's interesting, too, is that Homestead, they've been on that win streak, but tonight they come into a game where Norwell certainly will be a tough task. Norwell looking like a very, very solid team so far.
Yeah, they are ready so far, 3-0 on the season. They have been playing a great basketball.
Last Saturday in the brand new Spartan Arena, Homestead knocked off Wayne 69-42.
Yeah, and it wasn't the cleanest game for the Spartans all season, but they still walked away with a dominant victory, and that was really led by the freshman Maya Epps, who has stepped up big so far to start off this season. As you can see, she got 16 points last game for the Spartan squad.
And now let's talk about Norwell. They entered into the season with really high expectations and have looked good so far this year, climbing all the way up to number 2 in the class of 3A.
Yeah, these Knights are ready for this season. They have high expectations, and they are going to be playing great basketball as they have been dominant so far, getting that 3-0 record.
And that 3-0 record certainly is no slouch, too. They have some pretty solid wins. Although second rankings aren't all the way out yet, we can certainly go by the coaches poll, go by the media poll, which has Norwell ranked number 2. And you can see why. This team is very well put together. They're a very young squad, but play real good team basketball.
And you can just look at the averages. This team wins games by 32 points per game so far this season. They have been dominant to start off this season with that 3-0 record, and they are for sure going to be tested here tonight.
And tonight is a big night all around the conference, all around the SAC, as 8 games are being played.
Yeah, it's a fun night of basketball for sure in the Fort Wayne area. As you see the schedule here, Carroll at Huntington North, that's going to be a great game to watch. 2 great teams, as well as Columbia City at Snyder. Those teams, those are great, 2 great squads. Snyder being led by Jordan Poole this season. Just going to be fun to watch all of these great games throughout the area.
And looking at those top 2 games specifically, this could have some major sectional implications falling forward. Huntington North and Columbia City are supposed to be the 2 teams that are really going to contest with Homestead in this sectional, in the Huntington North sectional this year. Homestead has been able to breeze past the last few years, but these 2 teams, Huntington North and Columbia City, are looking up.
Yeah, both of those squads look to be up this season and have been playing at a good level so far. Carroll actually got the win over Columbia City earlier this season, so it's just going to be fun to watch all 4 of those teams compete tonight.
It is going to be very fun to watch those teams compete tonight, and it's also going to be fun to watch the Homestead Spartans compete tonight. Noah, you already got to call a game last Saturday in this brand new Spartan Arena. I mean, you can just look around. It's my first time being in the booth. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's an amazing arena, one of the best venues now in the state. You see all of those the jumbotrons up on the big board centered around the arena, and it's just super high quality and just a modern mecca of high school basketball.
You stole that quote right out of my mouth. The modern mecca of high school basketball. That's what makes high school basketball in Indiana so awesome. Of course, you hear about the giant gymnasiums. You've got the famous one down in Seymour, Newcastle, East Chicago. But then you have gyms like these and Kokomo, where they're starting to include video boards in the screen and on both sides, starting to modernize the high school game of basketball. Indiana is certainly just ahead of everybody else, and it is so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, basketball is just different here in the state of Indiana, and everyone knows that for sure. And you can just walk into the gymnasiums and see the difference.
Even though the crowds might not be packed, just because it's the beginning of the season, it's a weekday game, the energy's still going to be high too. The small student sections are going to be making a lot of noise, especially on the Norwell side tonight, because unlike Homestead, Norwell is not necessarily a team that's always at the top of their class. Homestead, over the last 8 years in girls basketball, has been that team to get in the area and been one of the best teams in the state, but Norwell hasn't really had that, which is why there's so much community surrounding this team.
Yeah, there's certainly a standard set for the Spartans, high expectations every single year, and it's really not the same standard for the Knights, but so far this season they have just been stepping up. They had high expectations entering the season. So far they have met them, just dominating all three of their opponents so far this year, and sitting with that 3-0 record, they're looking to stay unbeaten here tonight against the Spartans.
But of course, tonight is going to be their true test, and even more of a test, as they will be without one of their best players, Kennedy Filling, who has put on a show early in the season.
Yeah, she has been a key player for this Knight squad so far this year, and to not have her here tonight is going to be a huge missing piece for this squad.
But with the way Norwell plays basketball, the way they play their team basketball, it is expected that they should be able to do just fine without her. We're going to send it down now to sideline reporter Noah Lancz, who's standing by with Coach Rod Parker.
Thanks, Anthony. And Coach, you're more than likely going to face a full court press here tonight. How do you plan to combat that?
Well, we're going to be very aggressive against it tonight, attack it as much as we can, advance the ball, the pass, fill the middle, and if we can get out of their traps, turn into a 4-on-3 situation, and hopefully take advantage of it.
Thanks, Coach, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, Noah. And as the clock is about to hit zeros here at Spartan Arena, Noah, do you have any final thoughts before we head to our last commercial break?
I'm just excited for one of the best games in the area here tonight. 2 top 10 teams in each of their classes going head-to-head.
It's certainly going to be exciting, and like Coach Parker said, there's going to be a full court press. There's going to be a very dangerous full court press tonight, but he wants to take advantage of the situation, and that's going to be something so key for the Spartans. It's going to be a very fast tempo pace, and with a young squad like the Spartans have, they're going to have to keep up with it.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to be ready for that press and get out quick and break that press. It's something we've seen the Spartans struggle with in years past, but I think they're ready here tonight.
And the clock just about to hit zeros, and the final buzzer sounding here at the brand new Spartan Arena. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll give you your keys to the game and tip-off live from Homestead. You're watching Homestead Basketball right here on Homestead Live.
What limits you? Too small, too old, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
Southwest Allen County Schools is our home. Home to dedicated staff, passionate teachers, and a generous community that values and supports education. We believe our culture of learning embraces change, flexibility, and innovation. We believe our schools serve as the hub of our diverse community. We value hard work, attention to craft, and tenacity. We ask questions, share ideas, and work together to find new ways to do new things, great things, for our students, for our district, and for our community. In partnership with parents, we believe learning encompasses critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, communication, citizenship, and resiliency. We take pride in our successes and share in our accomplishments. We are Southwest Allen County Schools, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's opportunities.
Welcome back to Homestead High School as the Spartan starters are on their way to getting announced. The starters for Homestead tonight will be Emma Royst, Maya Epps, Evie Bottoms, Molly Stock, and Allie Stevens. And for the Norwell Knights, Dakota Hubble, Kennedy Filling, Rylan Graft in the place of Kennedy Filling tonight, Lillian Norris, Annabelle Johnson, and Mackenzie Feast.
And when you look at both of these lineups, you see a common theme for the Knights. You have 5 juniors starting, and then for the Homestead Spartans, they have 3 seniors and 2 freshmen, completely different age groups kind of for each of these rosters.
And what's interesting to note about both teams is that both could be considered young, as Norwell does not have a single senior on the team, but Homestead definitely more freshman heavy.
Yeah, the Spartans do have 5 seniors, but still are a young team with 3 freshmen on this varsity roster.
And now for your keys to the game, Norwell, the keys to the game for Norwell are going to be full court press on the Spartans. They want to put it on them. They want to give them some pressure and force them to make mistakes and get off to a fast start.
Yeah, put the pressure on the Spartans is definitely going to be an instrumental part of this ball game for the Knights, pressuring the freshman guard, Maya Epps, who's had a pretty good start to the season, but still a freshman guard.
And the Spartans have to be patient on offense and exploit the size advantage.
Yeah, this may be one of the shortest teams the Spartans face all season long. The Spartans are going to be undersized in most of the matchups, but here tonight it's a different case, so they got to get those big rebounds, get down low, and get those paint points.
Your officials that'll be officialing the game tonight are Steve Godfrey, Jay Larman, and Joe Rondeau. Well, we're in line for a good one as the first tip of the night is set. This one goes to Maya Epps. It was won by Norwell, but Epps recovers it for the Spartans. Molly Stock over on the left side, already moving the ball all the way around. Stevens with a deep shot 3, and it's no good. She is not afraid to take those.
I like the shot attempts and aggressiveness from Stevens, but she had Stock wide open under the basket. Got to look for that in the zone.
Another quick 3 attempt, that time by Norwell. No good. Mackenzie Feast couldn't get that one to go. Spartans back on offense. Stevens pulls up just inside the 3-point line and makes that one.
Stevens looking hungry tonight. Already 2 shot attempts on just 2 offensive possessions.
Quick fires for the Spartans. We expected this game to be a fast one, and we're already seeing that. Norwell working around the outside. Feast drives in the basket. No good. Tipped around and rebounded by Bottoms for the Spartans. Feast in the fast break, finds Stock down low and lays it in off the left side of the glass.
Great court vision there to set up an easy layup for Molly Stock right at the rim.
An easy drive into the basket, no good for Annabelle Johnson. Another quick and transition. Stock puts this one up and knocks it down.
Man, I love the Spartans offense right now. We talked about they had to be patient for keys to the game, but they are going full force, full speed, and it is working early on. A 6-0 lead just over a minute into this game.
And they haven't even let Norwell get a chance to get set in their press. We saw almost a complete reverse of the script last year in a game that's going to be haunting Spartan fans forever. But now they've completely flipped the script.
Yeah, they have just been out to a hot start in this one. The Knights, they were in desperate need of this timeout. They need to just regroup right here, get out, and try and get some easy scores or easy looks and shots to get it flowing.
Just a minute and 11 seconds into the game, and we're already seeing the seniors go at it. Allie Stevens took the first 2 shots of the game for the Spartans, being aggressive. Then Molly Stock with the next 2 shots, both going in. Norwell bringing it up the court. That's Annabelle Johnson. Bringing it up in the absence of Kennedy Filling. On the outside, Stock gets the steal, crosses half course in a fast break again. Emma Royce lays it in. 8-0 lead early for the Spartans.
Defense to offense right there. Emma Royce, a great defender for this Spartan squad. Getting the steal and then just moving it in transition.
Feast has to jump on the ball. She lost her dribble. And a jump ball called, staying with the Knights. Homestead's defense wreaking havoc early.
Yeah, they are making it very difficult for this Knights offense so far, just not allowing a single point so far, and that's just their aggressive defense making it hard.
Early in the season, we've seen this Homestead defense work as a whole unit, and again, continuing that into their 4th game. That one batted out of bounds by Emma Royce. She's been the main girl on Homestead's defense, stepping up, being almost everywhere, it feels like.
Yeah, once again, we see Royce in the passing lanes, jumping them and sending that ball out of bounds. This Spartans defense, if it keeps playing like this, is going to be hard to play against.
Royce again on the steal, picks that one off in a fast break, lays it in. 10-0 start for the Spartans.
Wow, this Spartan squad just absolutely dominating early on. Emma Royce on the defensive end. I love this aggressiveness right now.
Allie Riley gets trapped, finds Feast, passes it around underneath. Dakota with the fadeaway. Dakota Hubble no good. Rebounded by Epps. And Epps sends that one high and away, looking for Molly Stock in the corner, out of bounds.
And that just looked like a freshman error right there, and that's okay. A freshman guard just in the 4th game of the season, definitely going to keep getting better and avoid those mistakes in the future. But defensively, this Spartan squad just looking so great, jumping into the pass lanes and then playing great team defense with help side.
It almost looks like Norwell might have to start trying to force some contact, get the foul game involved. So right now, Homestead's doing whatever they want on defense. Feast at the top of the key, guarded by Royce, drives inside, passes that one out. Epps guarding, gets the steal, knocks it away. Royce picks it up off the ground. Crosses half court, driving to the basket. And a foul called on the floor. The first foul of the game. That one going on Rylan Graft of the Knights.
And a big problem for the Knights offensively, just watching that last possession, they really were just stagnant on offense. It was one person just dribbling themselves into a double team, everyone else just standing still. They got to move around off ball.
3-point up, no good. Rebounded by Epps for the Spartans, and that one just goes straight into traffic. Lillian Norris on the steal. Norwell trying to attack on offense. Norris trapped by Molly Stock, dribbling around with the left hand. And they're going to call 5 seconds in the lane on Dakota Hubble. Another Knight turnover.
What a defensive effort we have seen so far by the Homestead Spartans, just shutting out the Knights so far 3 minutes into this game.
Epps over to Stock on the right side. Now we're seeing that Norwell defense starting to force some traps. We'll see if the Spartans can get around it. Epps drives inside, gets a hit out of her hands, and stolen away by Norwell. Norris in transition, slows it down over to the right wing. That shot up, no good. A rebound being fought, and they're going to say it was out of bounds while Dakota Hubble had a hand on it. Turnover back to the Spartans.
Knights offensively just have been struggling to handle the ball, and then when they actually do get some sort of shot attempts, they really are just settling. They have to find better looks at the rim.
That pass by Epps. Pass to Royce and a jump ball called. It's going to stay with the Spartans. So they lead 10-0 with 4:19 left in the first quarter.
Just a great start overall so far for the Spartans, and it's really been a whole lot of turning defense into offense to get those 10 points so far.
Pass over to Stock. ISO at the top of the key. Pass into Epps. She has a wide open lane to the basket. And off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Graft. She crossed half court trying to force something quick. And they're going to call a reach and foul on Molly Stock on the floor. First foul of the night for the Spartans.
And a nice job there by Rylan Graff, just attacking, trying to get to the rim, drawing a foul there. That's what the Knights need to just continue to do, just attack that basket.
And there they go, attacking the basket again. In and out that time. Roseworm keeps the rebound and dribbles it off her foot. 3-on-1. Royce in transition, lays that one up and in. Emma Royce tonight being a demon in transition, and a timeout called by Norwell. Now with 3 3:48 left in the first quarter. Homestead leads 12-0.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Spartan Arena as the Homestead Spartans lead over Norwell 12-0.
It's just been a great performance from the Spartans overall so far, both on defense and on offense. They have been controlling this game. They've been so aggressive on defense. It has certainly paid off.
Johnson trying to drive inside on Evie. Bottom's no good. A three thrown up by Lillian Norris. And that one's just off the mark, and a travel called on Haley Green. Another turnover by the Knights.
And yet again, that Homestead defense just pestering that Knight offense, and they have just been struggling over and over again. Yet another turnover.
Bottoms inbounding. Epps crosses the timeline quickly, trying to get the ball free. Finds Bottoms. That pass to Bottoms, and a travel called on Evie Bottoms. Held onto that while taking a turnover back to Norwell. Any points are needed for Norwell at this point. Feast passing it around. Ball stays on the perimeter. He's trying to work in on Royce. Passes that one back to the outside to Johnson. Works it around to Roseworm. Driving in on by Epps, and a foul called on Epps.
Nice job by Epps there with the aggressive shot blocking attempts. Did get the foul that time, but I like the aggression. Just overall, the Spartans defense has been showing that aggression all throughout this game.
And the first points on the board for Norwell come at the free throw line. So not the start they wanted, but finally they find themselves in the scoring column. And over the last couple of possessions, they have been able to halt Homestead's offense. So right now, not looking horrible.
You know, just to see a couple shots go through the rim right now for the Knights might be the wake-up call they need. Even though if they're just free throws, maybe it can get that offense flowing.
And now here's where we see Homestead build an interesting game. Right now, they have three freshmen on the floor: Maya Epps, Whitney Ankerbrook, and Gabby Helsum. We've seen this many times already throughout the year, but we'll see how they can work versus a very good team tonight.
And yet another foul for the Spartans right there. We've seen 3 of those already tonight, and it's really just that aggressive defense that may become an issue later on if they continue this fouling.
Said earlier in the broadcast, Norwell needed to try to force some fouls on the Spartans. They forced 3 so far. Johnson working at the top of the key. He passes it over to Feast on the right wing, crosses up, takes a mid-range jumper, and splashes that one down. The first takes a long 3 and too long. Sunningman on with the rebound, almost turns it over, but Norwell retains possession. Johnson spinning around, finds Feast on the outside and drains a 3. Watch out, she can get hot. Back-to-back scores. Helsum now with a 3 on the offensive end, and she knocks that one down. Spartans have their first points in over 4 minutes.
And if I'm the Knights right now, I just keep giving the ball to Feast. She is cooking 5 points on the last 2 possessions for this offense. They needed some scores, and she's giving them to them.
Feast with the pump fake, takes the shot, no good, but she's looking aggressive on offense, giving the Knights some life, the life they need. Helsum with the pump fake 3, gives it to Stevens, who's not afraid to fire, and no good. Ball goes out of bounds off of the rim. Now Norwell with the chance to fight back.
And Stevens has been firing early for the Spartans. Hasn't got anything to hit yet from deep. But shooters shoot, and I expect Allie Stevens to knock some down later on in this one.
Allie Stevens is a very streaky shooter. She's either all in or all out. It varies, but even if she's off in the game, she can turn on just as quickly. That rebound that time by Stevens. That one trying to go in the fast break. Feast knocks it down. She's going to take a jumper and drain it. Mackenzie Feast, 7 of Norwell's 9 points.
And Feast has just willed the Knights back into this one, just dominating for the Knights after just being held scoreless for so long, putting up some points.
And a beautiful pass from Emma Roy sets up an Allie Stevens layup. So Homestead quick to answer. Feast turns that one over this time. Stock in the fast break is going to have to slow it down. So we dip now just under 30 seconds. Norwell in transition. Pass out to Feast. She's going to try to do it herself again on Emma Royce. On the right side, cuts back, drives inside, delivers it outside to Johnson. Nothing there for Feast. Johnson trying to work on Whitney Ankenbrook, the freshman. Throws that one up off the glass. No good, rebounded by Royce. Helsum with the layup in transition. Again, more points in transition for the Spartans. And now a throw up is going to be waved off with a traveling violation. It's actually going to be called with 0.2 seconds left on the clock. Not much the Spartans can do with this amount of time. But man, transition for the Spartans.
Yeah, they have just been great in transition, moving the ball quickly and taking advantage of those easy points.
Oh, and unfortunate for Allie Stevens as she drained that 3, but the clock expired. So, at the end of the first quarter, Homestead leads 19-9. But Norwell not out of it just yet.
Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Spartan Arena, and now we're going to set it down to sideline reporter Noah Lancz. Noah?
Thanks, Anthony. And coming into this one, we thought that the Norwell defense might bring some pressure onto Homestead. They struggled to find that pressure for a while, but eventually were able to settle in. But shockingly, it's been the Homestead defense that has been causing problems for Norwell. However, Norwell's finding their way on the offensive side as well. We'll see how this one ends.
Thank you, Noah. And there's still a lot of ball game left to be played as Norwell, they've showed some life, mainly through Mackenzie Feast offensively.
Yeah, Feast has just been the main production so far for this Knights offense. The only Knight with a field goal so far tonight with 7 points. And she's going to have to continue to play at a high level for this Knights squad to try and come back in this one. But her teammates definitely need to step up on the offensive end and get some production going.
Spartans stay in man defense coming into the second quarter. That pass underneath to Dakota Hubble, no good. She keeps the ball, puts that one up again, and rebounded, that time by Gabby Helsum. Spartans trying to move quick in transition. Bottoms Holtz, gives it to Helsum, top of the key. No good, and rebounded by Sunningson. Norwell now trying to take advantage of the Spartans' no-go on turnover. Feast delivers it back to Graft. Over to Norris, driving inside on Stock. Whistle blown by the officials. And a foul called on Molly Stock.
And I talked about it earlier on that the Knights offense just looks stagnant with all the players off ball just standing in one spot, and it's still the same case. That offense needs some movement off ball, or else it's going to be very hard to score against this stout Homestead's defense.
Hubble trying to work and use her height to her advantage. Unable to do so. Homestead will get the ball back on offense. Royce delivers the stock in the corner. Epps at the top of the key, gets trapped, drives inside, throws it up, and no whistle, no points for Maya Epps. Norris drives inside, delivers that one right into the hands of Emma Royce. One-on-one situation. Royce throws that layup up, no good. Rebounded by Bottoms over to Helsum. From the wing, no good. Rebounded by Royce. Stock this time. No good again. This Spartan team is supposed to be a team full of shooters, but so far in this game and in this season, we haven't really seen it.
Yeah, and even though on that last possession, the second chance opportunity didn't fall, just Emma Royce being able to get the offensive rebound, being able to get the steals on defense. She's everywhere for the Spartan squad, making big plays all over the place. She has just been so big for the Spartans team all throughout this game.
She really has, and she has a tough assignment tonight, guarding Mackenzie Feast as Allie Stevens takes a quick fire from 3. That one off the rim and over the backboard. Right now, none of the offenses are really getting going right now.
Yeah, neither of these offenses have played great at all so far. And really, most of the Homestead Spartans' points have just came in transition based off of their defensive effort. It's really just the Spartans' defense that has gotten them this 10-point lead.
Madison Sunningson in the game for Norwell. Only a sophomore, one of the young players on this Norwell squad. A lot of different lineups for Norwell, just as is the same with Homestead. We're going to be seeing that a lot throughout the game. That ball stolen away by Evie Bottoms. She crosses half court, delivers it to Royce, getting aggressive towards the basket, and lays it in. Emma Royce with a big night tonight so far with 8 points.
And this Spartans defense just keeps on turning into offense over and over again. They're going for the steals. They're going into those pass lanes, forcing turnovers, and quickly getting out into transition. And yet another Knights turnover right there. This offense needs to slow it down, get some movement off the ball, and work it down low. Give it to your main scorer, Feast, and get something flowing.
The problem with Norwell right now is that Emma Royce has clearly adjusted her defense to focus more on just not letting Feast get the ball, and it is working right now as Norwell not able to find any offense in this quarter.
And there's a key to the game that we talked about pregame, using the size advantage for the Homestead Spartans, which can be rare this season, getting Allie Stevens some points down low.
Feast for the Roseworm at the top of the key to Johnson underneath. That layup, no good for Haley Green, but she's going to head to the line to shoot 2. Points in transition have really been the story for Homestead tonight. While playing only half court, the Homestead offense hasn't been spectacular tonight.
Yeah, they really haven't been too great so far offensively when they're put in that half court, and Norwell has a better chance at just slowing them down. But in transition, they have been great.
Stevens gets the rebound for the Spartans. Gives it over to Evie Bottoms. That size advantage has been very evident on both the rebounding and just the size advantage that Allie Stevens has had as Epps turns that one over. Norwell right back, turns it over to the Spartans. Bottoms in transition, lays it up, and one for Evie Bottoms.
And there it is again, the Spartans in transition. That has been most of their offensive production so far here tonight in this one. And yet again, we see them in transition. This time, it's Evie Bottoms with a chance for a three-point play.
Evie Bottoms hasn't been the voice of the Spartans offense or defense much as a starter so far this year, but tonight she is letting her voice be known with many steals and now 2 points. That rebound goes over to Vanessa Roseworm. She's trying to work in on the newly entered to the game, Brooklyn Freem. Caught there at free throw line. Haley Green passed it over. The shot put up, no good. Rebounded by Royce. In transition again. That time Brooklyn Freem blocked. And he'll stay here with the Spartans.
Nice job there for the Knights, getting back defensively and just setting up the half-court defense, and now have a better chance to stop the Spartans' offense.
Epps gets in, shoots a quick 3. Her first shot attempt of the night. Second shot attempt from the night. No good that time. Roseworm attacking in at the basket, throws that one up, no good, rebounded by Stevens. Bottoms slows down play, crosses half court, gives it to Royce, who finds Stevens underneath the basket, lay up and good off the glass.
And the Spartans just keep on finding good looks towards the basket, and it has been working. Just getting close to the rim has made it a lot easier for them to score, and that's certainly what the Knights need to do offensively.
Graf gets pickpocketed by Maya Epps. Royce corrals that ball in transition. Layup, no good. Gets her own rebound, delivers back out to Epps, and puts that one up and into the basket. Timeout called by Norwell, and they desperately need it. Homestead is completely dominating now.
Yeah, the Spartans are just completely dominating. They have opened up this ball game, now up by 19 points. And for the Knights, you need to get it back to your leading scorer, Mackenzie Feast. Still the only Knight to make a field goal so far in this ball game. She needs to get it going once again.
And you can see that the presence of Kennedy Filling is being missed right now. She has been that 1A, 1B with Mackenzie Feast so far this year. And in her absence, her not playing in this game is just clearly showing for Norwell.
Yeah, they're being faced with possibly their toughest task all season long right now with the Homestead Spartans, and they're missing one of their key players. It is going to be difficult to try and stay in contention, and that's what we've seen so far as they have just struggled throughout this one, down 19. They're going to need to turn it around really quick to try and keep this game close.
They really are. They have the ability to do it. They just have to find somebody that's going to get going. Feast cannot be the only player because right now Emma Royce has her on locked, and that's why Emma Royce hasn't been subbed out of the game. She is playing a phenomenal game.
Yeah, on both ends of the court, she has just been all over the place. We've seen her get offensive rebounds. We've seen her get in the passing lanes and force some steals and turnovers, and she has just been great all around for these Spartans, also with 8 points already tonight.
A lot of different lineups for Norwell have been tried tonight. Allie Riley and both Addison Norris are in the game right now, two players that haven't received much playing time on the year. Graf driving inside, gets a foul called on the floor. That one's going to be on Maya Epps. That's her second foul. And now she'll exit. She'll be subbed out of the game for Whitney Ankenbrook.
And once again, we see the Knights get to the free throw line. The third time they've gotten here so far tonight. And now in the bonus, can expect to see more of that as we close out this first half. They're really going to have to get those points at the charity stripe and try and chop into this lead.
Unable to do so there on the 1-and-1. Claire Landergan passes it. Stevens, Brooklyn Freem from the corner off the front of the iron. Homestead leads by 19, but having one of their worst three-point shooting games of the year so far as a three-pointer up and in. Someone other than Feast scored for the first time tonight from the free throw line.
And the Knights offense, maybe that's the starter right there, seeing Allie Riley knock down a triple.
Allie Stevens goes for the answer, can't get it, rebounded by Haley Green. Feast working in transition, finally has the ball back in her hands, lays that one up, and no good. That's going to be Emma Royce's second foul.
And once again, we're going to see the Knights offense head into the free throw line as they have been playing very aggressive as of late, and they need to just keep on seeing these free throw attempts go up and up.
And that's a big foul for Mackenzie Feast going on Emma Royce, the opponent that has had her locked down for most of the entire night. And correction, that was actually Emma Royce's only first foul, but if she does get a second one, that could be very big for the Spartans, getting her out of the game. Very big for the Knights. Freeman in the corner to Landergan, to Royce, finds Stevens underneath, and just gets blocked completely by Annabelle Johnson, the junior. Johnson working the other way and batted out of bounds by Emma Royce. Possession will stay with Norwell.
Once again, Emma Royce just playing great defensively. We've seen her be aggressive all night long, and she's really been a disrupting factor for this Knights offense. And overall, the Knights almost just have to get her away from the ball and try and stop her from stopping them.
That one picked off by Allie Stevens. A nice little shadow fake by the Spartans defense. Evie Bottoms takes a wide open three and can't convert. In transition now. That ball almost stolen away. Feast working on Royce, dishes it back outside to Roseworm, trying to work inside and lays it up and in. Norwell now on a 7-0 run, making a comeback in this one. Allie Stevens with a deep shot, and she knocks it down. That is a three-pointer finally for Allie Stevens.
And we finally see one drop for Allie Stevens, as she has been off to a little bit of a cold start, but already with double-digit points for the Spartans, as she has been playing a great game. And yet another steal from Emma Royce.
And a layup in transition, almost got her 12th transition point of the game. It's a foul called on Gabby Helsum that time. That's going to send Norwell to the line to shoot. That one called on Allie Stevens. That's going to send Norwell to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 bonus.
Yeah, the Spartans' aggressive defense has certainly amounted to a whole bunch of fouls already, as they are sitting at 9 fouls right now as a team. And to close out this first half, the Norwell Knights just need to keep the momentum that they have going right now. They just had a 7-0 run before Allie Stevens knocked in that last triple. They're just going to have to keep that momentum rolling, try to trim into this lead even more to make it a closer game heading into the locker room.
Dakota Hubble subs back into the game. The height advantage, the only height advantage Norwell really has. Allie Stevens has done a good job so far using the height she has in this one to give Homestead an advantage. Hubble possibly now with an opportunity to prevent that. Whitney Ankerbrook with an open three from the left side. No good again for the Spartans. Rebound goes the other way. Johnson, transition now. Over the right side to Riley. Back to Johnson, dribbling with the left hand. To Roseworm, drives inside. 32 on 32. And Hubble avoids a turnover. Feast working on Royce again. Delivers it to Riley, driving inside on Evie. Bottoms trapped, has to get it away. Does, and that pass through the hands of Vanessa Roseworm. A huge defensive stop for the Spartans.
Yeah, the Spartans just overall have played great defensively all throughout this entire first half. And we saw it there once again, just making it more and more difficult for the Knights.
A bad pass by Emma Royce turns it over to Sunningson of the Knights. Johnson drives inside, dribble behind the back, spin move again, outside, Sunningson for three. Drains it, completely drains it. Norwell fighting, clawing their way back in this one. Royce to the left side, over to Helsum. Stevens blocked underneath the basket.
0-0. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of his athletics coverage.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
Welcome back to the OPS Halftime Report, and now we're going to take a look at our stats from the first half. Homestead completely dominated defensively, and it should be no surprise that they are completely dominating the turnover margin.
And yeah, I don't think those stats right there are correct with three to five turnovers. Norwell certainly had a lot more turnovers in the first half, and overall, just Homestead has played a great game defensively so far in this one. That's led to a lot of transition points in offense.
Yeah, the turnover margin definitely not accurate on here. Probably, if I had to give an estimate, it would probably be about 5 turnovers for the Spartans and about 12 for Norwell. That's just how crazy this game has been with turnovers. As for the field goal percentage, this is expected. The Spartans are not shooting well at all, and especially from 3, they haven't been able to make anything.
Yeah, they have been struggling so far offensively, trying to get those shots to fall, but with all those forced turnovers and the offensive rebounds, they have been playing great ball so far. Just defensively, that has led to a lot of easy points on the offensive end.
That's all Homestead's really need to do. As long as they keep focusing on their defense and force turnovers, it's going to be easy points day in, day out. They don't really need to focus as much on offense, although it has been a weak point for them certainly this year. But this defense right now, if they can play like this every game, they certainly could be one of the best teams in the state.
Defense wins championships, and they looked like a they have looked like a championship defense so far here in this game. Offensively, they have had some struggles, but you know, with this team, they have the shooters. Those shots are going to start to fall later on in the season, and when they have that defensive effort paired with that shooting, this team will look unstoppable.
And you guys may be thinking that we're only basing this off of one game, holding Norwell to 20 points in the first half. No, against Carmel, they held Carmel to 36 points, and that is a big deal. Of course, Carmel not having one of their best years ever this year, but they're still Carmel.
Yeah, to hold Carmel to only 36 points is just an absolutely great performance from the Homestead Spartans, and we've seen so far here in this game, they have played great defensively, shutting down the Knights.
And if they keep playing this defensively, playing defensive this well, they could shut down Northrop later in the year. And I mentioned Northrop because now we're going to take a look at the SAC standings from last year and talk about the SAC this year. Northrop, the team that is expected to dethrone the Homestead girls as SAC champs. And so far, only 3 games of the year looks like they could.
Yeah, the Northrop Bruins, they have a very talented roster this season. They returned the Jackson twins from last season, along with Coach Jackson. Just a great trio between the 3 of them, along with a bunch of other returning key players like Riley Pepple. They also have Taylor Fordyce coming in, transfer from Carroll. They're just a loaded, talented squad this season, and they can just dominate whoever they play.
Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Homestead versus Northrop, January 27th. It is going to be the game of the SAC, but looking at some of the other teams in the SAC, last year Snyder finished 8-1 in the conference. They lost a couple players, 1 to graduation and 1 to transferring to Northrop, like you said, but they still have Jordan Poole, which means they're still a threat.
Yeah, I didn't even mention Destiny Craig, a 16-point-per-game scorer last season, also is on Northrop. But talking about Snyder, Jordan Poole and Joniah Donahue going to be the 2 leading that squad. Jordan Poole, quite possibly the best player in the area this season. Just an electric scorer. Really can just get it going whenever her team needs that spark.
She really can. And Carroll this year, they might not be able to put up another 7-2 conference matchup, but they still could be a threat to upsetting some of the top teams. That's just how Carroll rolls. They are a team, they have really, really strong coaching over there at Carroll, and they could upset anyone anytime.
Yeah, this is a solid squad, returning a couple key players from last season, including Kayla Gibbs, and they're just going to be a great, and Jersey Paul, now a sophomore, a key player as a freshman last season. They are really stepping up this year, and they're ready to try and compete in the SAC again. Those
4 teams are going to be the teams to watch in the SAC this year. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll be back for second half of Homestead versus Norwell.
you don't plan on getting an injury, so why should you plan ahead to care for one? At Orthostat, you don't have to. Whether you get hurt on the job or on the field, or if you're experiencing sudden, localized pain, we fix the unexpected. Our walk-in clinics provide emergency access to a full range of diagnostic, non-surgical, and surgical treatments. And the best part is, there's never an appointment or referral needed. So you can get in, get out, and get going. Orthostat is recognized by Anthem and other insurance plans as an alternative to the ER.
To get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
Welcome back to Homestead High School as we are now just ticking down the final seconds till Homestead versus Norwell's second half is underway.
And the Homestead Spartans just dominated that first half defensively, as we have talked about all game long. And that defensive effort is really headed by Emma Royce, just a great defender for the past 2 seasons for this squad, and has certainly helped lead the Spartans team to that 15-point lead.
Last year, she earned her spot as a starter on an absolutely dominant Spartan squad that was #1 in the state for almost 10 weeks straight. And we can see why. She is a lockdown defender, and she's even made improvements in her offensive game as seen today as well. Royce to bottoms quickly. Norwell trying to get that trap defense going, and a foul called. That one's going to go on Mackenzie Feast.
Even though it resulted in a foul there, I like what Norwell's doing right now. They like to get in that pressure and force a lot and try and force a lot of turnovers. That's what they're going to have to do in this second half to try and cut into this lead, continue that aggression.
Stock from the corner. That's a 3-ball for Molly Stock from the corner where she shoots it best. Annabelle Johnson bringing it up the court for the Knights. Feast guarded tightly by Royce. Pass it away. That one underneath the basket. Overshot, rebounded by Epps. Transition finds Royce. That layup up and good. What vision from the freshman.
Great court vision from Maya Epps right there, seeing the wide open Emma Royce right at the rim.
Annabelle Johnson quickly drives into the basket, untouched, laying that one up and in. 18-point lead for the Spartans. Royce finds Stock wide open on the left side. In and out, rebounded by Royce. Back to Stock. She fakes another attempt. Down to Allie Stevens, tries to work in the post and gets it slapped out of her hands by Dakota Hubble.
And with the aggressive defense and the Knights are running right now, they got to be careful. They can't leave the shooters open for the Spartans and just let them open up this game even more, as Stock has already seen 2 open looks for 3-pointers, and one of them has already dropped.
Epps at the top of the key, only being guarded by one person right now. Calls Bottoms in motion over to the right side. Back to Stock. Open at the top of the key. Pump fake drives inside. Epps wide open from the left side. And it looked like Roseworm got a hand on it. Blocked that shot off to the right side. Roseworm quickly in transition. Lays that one up. No good. Rebound for Dakota Hubble. Put back. No good as well. Rebounded by Epps. Fast break again. Stock one-on-one. Slows it down. Actually passes to Royce. And gets denied by Hubble, but a foul called, and the Norwell fans not happy.
Hubble got it fair and square up top, but the body contact is where the foul call is going to be called. But what a block from Hubble down low on Emma Royce. But Royce still going to get 2 free throws.
Royce with the first free throw, good. So far this season, she is an 80% free throw shooter for the Spartans. Last season, she actually struggled in the free throw department, only shooting 46% from the free throw line. In fact, shooting better from the three-point line than the free throw line. So that second one is no good. Roseworm trying to drive to the basket, tosses one up, rebounded by 2 Homestead defenders. Helsum brought that one down. Stock with the pump fake. Royce with an open lane, passes it to Stevens underneath the basket. No good, and rebounded by Norwell. Trailing by 19, trying to attack, get something going offensively. Roseworm drives inside, gets denied by Helsum, and has to pass it back out to Johnson. Feast hasn't been able to get open, finally gets the ball on the right side, driving in the basket, puts up a wild shot with her left hand, and a rebound collected by Emma Royce and Dakota Hubble for a jump ball.
And really, ever since that first quarter, we haven't seen too much from Feast, and that really has to be credited to Emma Royce just shutting her down after Feast opening it up for the Knights and just not allowing her to continue to get any open looks.
That pass to Hubble, put up and banked in. There's the height advantage, the only height advantage that Norwell has. Royce quickly passes it out to Helsum. Helsum back to Bottoms, to Royce, over to Stevens, to Stock. Mid-range shot, no good, and rebounded by Helsum. Royce now with a 3. No good that time. Offensive rebound for Stevens, fought, and a jump ball called. Homestead has been very aggressive on the offensive glass in this second half, getting many offensive rebounds already. Royce inbounds to Stock, pump fake at the open 3. Helsum wanted to drive inside, gets denied. Stock back on the right side. Drives inside, kicks it out. Stevens, open 3, too long. Helsum goes over the top, and a pushing foul called on Gabby Helsum.
Gabby Helsum once again with aggression on the offensive glass, that time resulting in a foul. But that aggression certainly has been paying off so far overall in the night for the Homestead Spartans with all the second chance opportunities they have been receiving.
Annabelle Johnson bringing it up. Hubble hands it off to Sonningson. Riley trying to work in on Molly Stock, unsuccessful. Sonningson gets it blocked. Wide open lane now. This time, shot up, no good. Hubble with the putback and will get fouled on the shot. Allie Riley had an open lane, couldn't make it. The foul on Hubble's putback.
The Knights really got to start hitting those good looks at the rim. They've gotten a lot of those so far tonight, and they just haven't been able to get them to drop in. And really, most of their points have just been coming from the free throw line outside of the jump shots that we've seen from Fees.
Hubble no good on her first attempt. One of the many juniors on this Norwell roster. Second one rattles around and good. Here comes the full court press for Norwell. Quickly broken. That one slapped out of bounds by Madison Sonningson.
The Knights right now have to get some defensive stops consistently, try and force some turnovers, and get out into transition. They need some easy points to get it rolling and get back into this one.
And the Spartans right now are just doing a good job passing it around as Stevens tries to do it herself and gets fouled. Will head to the line to shoot 2.
And with Hubble on the bench, Stevens recognizes she has the height advantage, so right away attacking the basket and drawing the foul, shooting 2 free throws now.
Smart play by Allie Stevens. She was either going to make the shot or go to the free throw line, where she is a 90% shooter on the year. First free throw up and good, extends the Spartans' lead to 17 points. Second one, good as well, 18 now.
And really, ever since we saw the Spartans get up 29-10, we've just seen the lead stay within that 15 to 20 point range. The Knights just have to go on a run right now and try to cut deep into that lead.
Stevens in transition. No look pass to Epps. Back to Royce. Now Stevens wide open on the side. You can't leave her open. Allie Stevens so wide open. And knocks that 3 down. She'll hit that 100% of the time.
If there's one thing in the scouting report that you just absolutely can't do against the Spartans, don't leave Stevens or Stock wide open for threes. And right there, Stevens was just wide open. Way too easy.
Feast hit the pump fake. Unable to make the shot. Stevens drives the basket, gives it to Epps. Epps passes it to Royce across the whole half of the field. And Royce loses her dribble and goes out of bounds.
And how about that shot from Stevens? Just found herself wide open and just knocked it down, extending that lead back up to 21 for this Spartan squad.
Eileen Graff back in the game, gives it to Annabelle Johnson. Bringing the ball up the court, trying to give Norwell a chance to fight back. Side, a good switch off by the Spartans. Stock with the steal. Now a fast break opportunity. 1-on-2. Throws that one up and accepts the contact on the floor. Another foul on Norwell, their 4th.
And we see it again, just taking or forcing a turnover, getting out into transition, and forcing a foul that time on Norwell. Really just transition offense has been the key for the Spartans throughout this entire ball game.
Johnson fights for that rebound now and transition. A 3, wild 3 put up that time for Feast. Couldn't make that one. Norwell, though, keeps possession with an offensive rebound.
And when Royce is guarding you, that's the only time you'll see any open space for Feast. Just sprinting down the court, trying to get a catch and shoot. Still, Royce contested that one.
That time a foul on the ground. That looks like that one's going to go against Whitney Ankenbrook that time. Reach in foul.
Now this Knights offense, they just have to get something flowing, whether it's trying to get a good look inside or just giving it to Feast and hoping she can cook up for you, as yet another steal from Emma Royce here.
And she's going to be aggressive and attack the glass, accepts the contact, and it will head to the line to shoot 2.
Emma Royce was certainly a great defender for the Spartans last season, but the one thing that has certainly changed is her aggressiveness on the offensive end. Last year, she looked like a very timid player, but on offense this season, she has been attacking the basket, and it has certainly worked here tonight for the Spartans.
There's almost been a theme for Homestead this year. They have just been attacking the basket, accepting contact. They realize that they, in most games, are the smaller team, which means they're going to be able to get pushed around. But as long as they can put a shot up, if they get pushed around, that's fine, because they're going to head to the line where they are not a bad free throw shooting team. Feast trying to work inside and gets denied again. Norwell only 5 points in this half so far, and a travel called on Madison Sunningson.
And yet again, we see the Knights turn it over. That has been the storyline all night long. They have just struggled on the offensive end, and it's really just been that Spartans pressure that has made it so difficult.
Emma Royce got a little cocky that time, tried to hit with a head fake, and turns that one over, turns it into a jump ball, and that one will head back in the Knights' direction.
And the Knights offensively, we've been talking about it all night, just struggling with that stout defensive effort from the Spartans, and really a key offensive player for the Knights out tonight, Kennedy filling. That could be a key storyline and just the struggle from the Knights offense here.
It could be. She is such a huge part of this team. Not being in the game definitely hurts. Roseworm trying to work inside on the freshman Epps. Finds player right outside. No good. And now a fast break opportunity. Stock with everybody following her. Puts up a wild layup and in.
And with that one, the Spartans are now doubling the Norwell Knights on the scoreboard. They have just been dominating. And to think John Harrell had the Knights winning this one.
John Harrell had the Knights favored by 13 heading into this game. Homestead completely shushing Harrell's prediction. Royce gathers that rebound. Stock looking for Stevens. Going out of bounds a little bit too high. She got her fingertips on it, but it went out of bounds off of her fingertips. Feast bringing the ball up the court for Norwell. Has been practically silent since the first quarter. That one a crazy shot put up. Desperation shot almost for Lillian Norris. Can't get that one to fall.
Yeah, and at this point, it does look like the Knights are just trying to get anything going offensively, just taking any shot they can get, even if they're not the best looks. They're just setting up prayers, trying to cut into the lead.
Epps sends that one way over the head of Whitney Ankenbrook. Is unable to grab onto it. Turnover back to Norwell. Tonight certainly hasn't been Maya Epps' best game. Her first 3 games, she played like the best player on Homestead's roster, averaging 14.7 points, but tonight hasn't done much in the scoring column and has turned the ball over a few more times than wanted.
Yeah, Maya Epps played great the first 3 games, hasn't played too great here tonight, but the Spartans haven't even really needed it with just overall dominance over the Knights here tonight.
Feast gets that one, and now a chance to get some more points. Her first point since the first quarter. Feast gets the wide open layup. Whitney Ankenbrook in trouble, finds Royce. Royce back to Whitney Ankenbrook, who puts up the 3 and buries it. A much-needed 3 for Whitney Ankenbrook, who's been cold over the last couple of games. Feast trying to do something before the clock expires, puts up a crazy shot. No good, and that will be the end of the third quarter. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it'll be the fourth quarter in action. Homestead leads 53-29. Welcome back to Homestead High School, and now we're going to send it down to sideline reporter Noah Lancz.
Thanks, Anthony. And the big story coming into this year was Ayanna Patterson no longer being on the team. She was the leading scorer from a year ago, but the team returned Allie Stevens, who averaged 16 points per game a year ago, and now she is the leading scorer this year. The question is, who's going to be the second leading scorer? So far this year, it's been Maya Epps. In this one, Emma Royce has stepped up, so Homestead has a lot of versatility on the offensive side, which is why they're a dangerous team.
Thank you, Noah, and you can say that again about Emma Royce, who has played a phenomenal game in this one. But like you said, Maya Epps, the first 3 games played very well, not as well tonight. Molly Stock, too, has done a good deal of scoring tonight as Feast drives to the basket. Is looking to get way more aggressive offensively.
And then a little bit of a miscue there for the Spartans as the Knights trying to open up this fourth quarter with some momentum. And what you were talking about, Anthony, just overall, we've seen a whole bunch of players step up here tonight for the Spartans. Even though Maya Epps hasn't played her best game of the season, we've seen Emma Royce, Molly Stock, Allie Stevens all come up big and just dominate for the Spartans tonight.
Norris with the 3. And Norwell making a bit of a run, and another travel called on Evie Bottoms. And Coach Parker not happy. It looks like she's going to get subbed out immediately. 2 errors by Evie Bottoms. Unfortunate errors. And right now, Norwell is looking in ideal position, but it just might be too late.
Yeah, the Knights showing some life early on in this fourth quarter, but it definitely, right now, probably is too late. Like you were saying, Anthony, they needed this early on in the first quarter when they were held scoreless for so long.
That ball off the foot of Epps will stay with the Knights. Cut the lead down to 19 points on a short little 5-0 run to start the half. Make that 7-0 with a 2 by Haley Green. Epps beats the pressure, gives her to Helsum, throws that one back to Royce. Royce dribbles it to Stock, who puts up a shot and knocks it down. Molly Stock has certainly had a good night tonight as well.
Leaving Stock or Stevens open for the Homestead Spartans is just danger time for their opponent, as they are going to knock down those triples always.
Helsum jumps on top of that ball, and Coach Parker, gets the timeout call. It's going to be a timeout for Homestead as they lead by 20 points. And Noah, so far, besides, the absolute amazing defensive performance from the Spartans, the uncharacteristically good offensive performance from Emma Royce and Molly Stock and Allie Stevens being the shooters they are, what other takeaways do you have from this game?
And the Spartans overall, just you really discussed almost all the talking points there, Anthony, and overall they've just been great on defense. And really, Norwell, their struggle has just kind of surprised me in this one, as they were coming into this game really expected to contend with the Homestead Spartans.
Like you said earlier, they came into this game favorites. I think an important note for the Spartans is that they have not struggled against the press at all in this one. They have done just a fine job of being the full court press, as you just saw right there. Emma Royce deals one to Allie Stevens. This is just certainly an amazing performance by Emma Royce, and we're going to see it tomorrow on the stat sheet, leading in probably almost every category.
Yeah, Emma Royce has just been great all around for the Homestead Spartans. So far on the season, has just averaged 8 points a game coming into this one. But overall, defensively, with the ball and offensively, she's just been great, both scoring and with her passing ability. She's been a dominant force for the Spartans all night.
She had her breakout game last year versus South Bend, Washington, of all teams, the team that ended up finishing #1 in Sagarin. But if she could have a second breakout game, I would say it's tonight. This is probably overall her best performance she's had as a Homestead Spartan.
And just to take a quick look at a score update around the area, Carroll handled Huntington North pretty easily, winning 55-32 over the Vikings.
That is a big note for the SAC and also for the NE8 that Norwell is a part of. Of course, Norwell, the favorites to win. Homestead, the favorites to win the SAC, but Carroll looking very good, and Huntington North, surprising large defeat for them. Norwell back on offense. Riley with the ball working on Stock, except some contact and a spin move into the basket. Riley has actually played a very good game tonight on offense, playing very aggressively. She doesn't get a lot of minutes for Norwell, but of course, in the absence of filling, they've been looking for somebody to step up. Maybe she hasn't stepped up as much as wanted, but certainly doing her part. Stevens with the ball underneath the basket and gets fouled again. She's headed back to the line.
And there's Allie Stevens once again. We've seen tonight her offensive abilities be shown both inside the arc, down low, and outside. She is looking like a great dual threat weapon offensively for the Spartans team.
First free throw good for Allie Stevens. We entered into the night talking about how Homestead would have an advantage with her height This is one of the few games of the year that they will have that height advantage, and she's really been trying to attack that tonight underneath the basket.
She certainly has, as she has just dominated down low throughout this game. And overall, the Spartans have just been a bigger presence down low than we've seen earlier on in the season, just being able to control the glass better than they have in previous games.
23-point Spartan lead with 5:36 left. Norwell doesn't look like they have too much life left in them, but trying to do with what they can. If anyone can find some life, it's going to be Feast. Allie Riley driving to the basket. As Allie Stevens gets a hand on it, forces a jump ball, and that's going to be a turnover to the Spartans.
Just another great defensive play, as we see right there. Allie Stevens getting the hand on that ball, forcing the jump ball and getting it right back to the Spartans.
Stock back to Royce, back to Stock, back to Royce. Stevens to Stock, and underneath to Helsum. What a passing job for the Spartans. Not just in that possession, but the entire night. They have done an amazing job passing the ball, working the ball to get the open shot.
The ball just keeps on moving, and people off ball keep on moving. They have been the opposite of a stagnant offense. As for the Knights on offense, they just have people standing around, and that's really been a struggle. When you just have one person trying to dribble around, it's going to be hard to try and get any shots to fall.
And it looks like the two seniors for Homestead will get their final current call as Maya Epps goes to the ground. A hard foul. She gets up under her own power with a little bit of a limp. A little concerning for Spartan fans. Their star freshman getting hit really hard from behind by Riley Graff.
And as the Spartans do seem to have taken out their seniors for the last time in this ball game, it's going to be interesting to see just how this young lineup here can perform, as this is a very young Spartans team this season, and they are all getting this varsity experience here late in this fourth quarter.
In the game right now that haven't been in the game much so far this game is Claire Landergan and Brooklyn Freem. And now Whitney Ankenbrook, the third freshman, goes to the scorer's table looking to sub in soon. Feast back to Riley. Just trying to do with what you can, possibly make a point to get some more offensive minutes in the coming games. Dakota Hubble found underneath by Feast. When the ball is in Feast's hands, that's the only time you know Coach Parker is a little bit worried with his defense.
Yeah, Feast all night long has been such a playmaker for this Knights offensive attack, both being able to just find the open shots for herself and finding her open teammates, but overall it just hasn't been enough.
Royce also gets fouled pretty hard, as now Whitney Ankenbrook will come to the game for Gabby Helsum, who has played a solid game with helping work the ball around on offense. Royce puts up that free throw, and it is good. Front end of the 1-and-1 is made.
And the Knights are now just one foul away from sending the Spartans into the double bonus, which could really just milk out these last 4 minutes and 30 seconds even more if they continue these fouling issues.
With a lead up to 27, the Spartans. Feast takes a big jumper. Spartans only 8 points away from the Mercy rule, just 35 points. Landergan took a step inside. Epps back outside to Ankenbrook, who puts up a three, no good. And rebounded by Riley, who gets fouled quickly, that time by Whitney Ankenbrook.
And even though Ankenbrook hasn't been able to get a high percentage of her shots to fall so far this season, just shooting 14% so far on the year and 1 for 2 so far tonight from 3, she definitely looks like she has potential to be a great shooter in future years for this Homestead Spartan squad, just showing the confidence out there as a pure shooter, and she eventually is going to have those shots falling in.
She almost looks like Allie Stevens did her freshman year, just not afraid to take a shots, even if it was with a low percentage. Just throwing up the ball as much as she can, just trying to not limit her range. And boy, have we seen that with Allie Stevens over the last couple of years, having no limit on her range and where she can shoot from. We saw it a little bit tonight as well. Wonderful look from Brooklyn Freem. finding Maya Epps underneath the basket for the left-handed layup.
And that was just miscommunication there from the Knights defense. They had all 5 defenders on one side of the court. 3 Spartans were wide open on the opposite side. You just can't have that happening. Knights almost looking lazy defensively, now trailing by 30 with 3 minutes left in this ball game.
Riley sends that ball on the ground. It's going to be a jump ball. Claire Landergan and Mackenzie Feast get there. Now 2 more seniors will come to the game. Emma Royce subs out and will receive a standing ovation, or loud ovation, from the crowd. My Epps subs out as well. Those 2 played really well, especially Emma Royce.
Yeah, Emma Royce overall had just been the dominant force leading the way for the Spartans all night long. We saw offensively, defensively, she was all over the place, getting into the passing lanes, forcing transitions for the Homestead Spartans, and then finding her open teammates. She was all over the place and just played great.
Sanaya Sandlin subs into the game. Whitney Ankenbrook will come out. Hillary Adams to Landergan to Freem. Back to Adams. Official blows the whistle, calls an official timeout.
A little bit of confusion going on here, as the Spartans have just absolutely dominated throughout this ball game. Just look to finish it off strong here with the last couple minutes.
Claire Landergan with the pump fake. Delivers to Sanaya Sandlin underneath. Puts it up and in. 31-point lead for the Spartans. 4 points away from the Mercy rule, which is certainly a target for them. Again, coming into this game, favored by John Harrell to lose by 13 points. And now winning by 29. Feast with a 3 attempt. No good. Rebounded by Sandlin. In transition, Adams turns it over, and a travel call on Allie Riley as she picked that ball off. Took a couple steps after.
And with how dominant the Homestead Spartans have looked so far in this ball game, it really raises the question, can this team be as dominant as they were last season, even without the star Ayanna Patterson, who is so crucial for this squad? They certainly have looked like it so far, as they are just moments away from a 4-0 start and almost a 30-point win if the lead holds over a #2 team in the 3A class.
Hillary Adams puts up a 3 and knocks that one down. Her first 3-pointer of the year falls down, and now a 34-point lead for the Spartans with 1:45 left. Drive to the basket for Mackenzie Feast. Makes it only a 32-point game. Landergan over to Adams. To Brooklyn Freem, trapped in the corner. Turns it over. Feast. In transition, puts up a jumper, too strong. Offensive rebound by Green. Another shot put up for Norwell. No good, rebounded by Sandlin. Adams in transition, over to Freem, back to Adams. Landergan had a step-up look at a 3, didn't take it. Sandlin drives to the basket, lays it up. No good. Sydney Freem with the putback. Up and in.
Nice effort there from Sydney Freem, crashing the glass and getting those second chance opportunities to drop in.
Timeout taken. Correction, a turnover by Norwell gives the ball back in the hands of the Spartans with 54.8 seconds left in this one. This Homestead team, certainly a different team compared to last year. It's a blocking foul called on the ground. Allie Riley got in the way of Sanaya Sandlin trying to drive to the basket. Now Sanaya Sandlin will head to the line to shoot her first free throws of the year and a chance for the Mercy rule. Double bonus for the Spartans. Sandlin will shoot 2. First free throw up and good. And that will be a Mercy rule for the Spartans, taking a 35-point victory lead.
And it's almost impossible to believe that. Just thinking, coming into this game, This was such an even matchup coming in. Number 2 team in 3A, number 7 in 4A. Really expected this to be a tightly contested matchup. But boy, the Spartans came out hungry tonight, ready to prove anyone wrong that was doubting them. And they certainly have done that tonight, just controlling the game all throughout.
Violation on Norwell, turns it back over to the Spartans, who will probably just dribble this one out. Williams across the timeline, gives it to Landergan. Sandlin with a deep 2. Oh, she makes it. Couple strides back, and that would have been a 3 for Sandlin. Feast playing to the last buzzer. 3-shot put up. No good, and that is it. The Homestead Spartans dominate the Norwell Knights with a 38-point victory. Down goes the number 2 team in 3A.
It's almost unbelievable to look at this final score right now, knowing how dominant the Homestead Spartans have been tonight. After just playing a little sloppy in their last game against Wayne, to see them come out in full force tonight, this team looks to for sure be one of the best squads in the state.
They certainly do. I mean, it's a completely different compared to last year, but this time, man, they passed the ball better. Just something special.
Yeah, just all around, they were playing great all throughout the entire ball game. You saw Emma Roy step up big, both offensively and defensively for this team, getting steals left and right, and then turning those into transition points, whether she was scoring them herself or getting the assist to a wide open teammate.
It has just been a completely different team this year compared to last year, as now we'll send it down to our sideline reporter, Noah Lancz, who's standing by with our player of the game, Emma Royst.
Thanks, Anthony. You all were able to get out to a fast start right away. How were Spartans able to get it done tonight?
Our whole focus in practice yesterday was against their defense and offense, handling their pressure, and I think we did really good well starting off that way.
The 3 captains on this team led you all to a victory. How are you all able to bring this new group together?
Our whole team all has a... Can I start over?
You're good.
Please don't let this get cut out.
You're good. The 3 captains led this team. How were you all able to get it done here tonight?
Everybody contributes. Every single person on this team does something well for us, and that's the only way we can do it.
And you were dominant on both ends, scoring 15 points and locking down a defense with many steals. How were you able to get it done on both ends?
Everybody helps me do that. Everybody's help side defense. It helps me contain the ball, and we had some really good passes.
And this is a really good game to build off of, but you got Noblesville on Saturday next. What are you all looking to improve on?
Handling pressure is a big thing against Noblesville, so I know we're going to be working on that a lot this week.
Thanks, Emma. Anthony, back to you.
Thank you, Noah, and a great game from Emma Royce. Like she said, they're going to be preparing all week for Noblesville, who's going to be a very tough opponent on Saturday. They also have Concordia as well on Friday. And Noah, we're going to take a look at our stats from the game today.
And we'll see if the turnovers are more accurate this time, as in the first half they very clearly had some flaws, as overall...
Those look a little more accurate.
As here we go. This turnover differential looks a lot more accurate, as the Knights really struggled throughout the entire ball game with the turnovers, as 31 on the night.
And Homestead, they started off struggling from 3, and they didn't fully recover from that, shooting better, but they did shoot better today than their season average. Definitely shot better in the second half. And from the field, too, 52%. That is better than they have shot, way better than what they've shot all year. They've averaged 34% from the field coming into this game, so 52, very nice. Of course, most of those in transition, but still, take advantage of what you get.
Yeah, they got a lot of easy looks in transition, and a whole lot of that credit has to go to their defensive effort, forcing those steals, forcing the turnovers, and getting those easy points out in transition.
And Noah, we're going to close out the show today. Do you have any final thoughts?
Just how about this Spartans' dominant victory, winning by 38 points over the number 2 team in Class 3A. This Spartan squad looking like one of the best in the state.
And we'll find out where they fare amongst the best of the best on Saturday down in Noblesville. On behalf of the entire Homestead Live crew, including sideline reporter Noah Lancz, producer Trevor Newhouse, switcher Joel McChesney, our camera operators, and color commentator No Johanningsmeier, I'm Anthony Gery saying so long from Spartan Arena. This has been a presentation of Spartan Basketball on Homestead Live. Have a great rest of your day.